These are the 5 business credit trade lines that you as a startup need. And guess what? They aren't the ones that these social media gurus are trying to sell you on. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to learn more. I know I'm about to get a lot of slack for this, but I simply don't care, okay? Because the world of social media is influencing entrepreneurs, startups on building business credit. And honestly, they're telling you to build it the wrong way. Even more honesty, you as a startup should not be building business credit. Business credit is for small businesses with actual revenue, small businesses that actually show on paper that they are a small business because they have profits, and businesses that have been established. And I need people to understand, the difference between a small business and a startup. A startup is literally what it is, starting up. Okay, you don't have any employees, you don't have any customer base, you barely have the essentials such as a website. You have not filed any taxes to show that you are actually an established business. Because even if you have the LLC, the EIN, all the documents that everybody's telling you that you need to become a business owner, if you don't actually have on paper showing that you have some type of revenue, you're not a business. You're a hobby. Okay? You're a startup. And that's perfectly fine, but you need to understand how to go along with actually building business credit. But essentially in real life, it's not for startups. Business credit is for small business owners. Business owners who have been established for 2 years, business owners who have revenue, profits, clientele, customer base, marketing, all of that. So they understand that putting the money that it takes to get these vendor credits makes sense. They're not actually like hurting for the $100 because the $100 should have went into marketing, right? Okay, so business credit is for small businesses. But if you want to start building business credit as a startup, there are 5 business credit trade lines that you need to actually utilize. And I'm not talking about Quill. I'm not talking about Uline. I'm not talking about Granger. I'm not talking about those particular vendor accounts. Because in all honesty, if you are going after those accounts, they're not helping you build your business. And I'm talking about actually helping you make profits. You're not going on to Quill to get toilet paper, and you're not reselling the toilet paper. Unless that's your industry, that's not for you. If you are a product-based business, such as if you're trying to do a cosmetic line or you're trying to do retail clothing, apparel, Quill don't have nothing for you that you can go out and sell for profit. Okay? Quill ain't got nothing for you. Uline may have boxes, which, you can do some boxes at Uline. Granger has nothing for you. If you are in the industry of retail, finance, you are in the industry of apparel, Granger has nothing for you. Okay? So that's what I'm saying by you're being sold and influenced to get into these particular these trade lines so they can report. But in actuality, there's no benefit whatsoever on these particular accounts for your business, to help make your business grow. Okay, now we have to get it out of our head that this is going to help structure my business. Ordering $100 from Quill is not going to structure your business in no way, shape, or form. Okay, no way, shape, or form. And that's just being honest. All right. Now, you may ask yourself, well, what qualifies me to be able to say this? Well, I am actually the author of the Solopreneur Business Credit Guide. Shameless plug. No, but I actually built my business credit on my own. And what I learned from it and what I was able to write in the book was that I actually didn't necessarily need these particular trade lines, because I was already in a position where if I wanted to personally guarantee my credit cards and things like that, I had no problem with that, and I was okay with it because I actually had good personal credit scores, right? But I showed in the book how to actually begin building business credit. Okay, and I wrote that book in 2020. I wrote that book in 2020 after I was successfully able to obtain over $30,000 in business funding in my first year. And what I mean by business funding, I had credit cards, credit lines in my business name, with PG, with no PG, okay? Because I wasn't scared to PG the bag. Like, at the end of the day, I knew I needed the funding, so I was okay with personally guaranteeing it, okay? But I wrote the book because it gave insight to how to start building business credit and how to properly structure your business credit, okay? But I was not considered a startup. I was considered a small business because I had 2 years in. I had revenue. I wasn't in the red anymore. I was actually in the black when I filed my taxes. So I was considered an actual small business. All right. And on top of that, being a small business, I was okay with using my good credit, personal credit scores, to be able to obtain funding for my business that requires personal credit score. But did I actually start off with the Quill, the Uline? Yeah. I had those accounts, and honestly, they did nothing for my business. I'm in a service-based business. I'm in finance. What did I buy from Quill? My first order from Quill was probably paper towels that I used in my house. And by the way, the paper towels were more expensive than in Walmart. But I was okay with that because I wasn't losing out on money. Okay? That those $100 orders that I had to do was okay because my business was, I had a clientele, I had a customer base, I had monthly income coming in, so that $100 wasn't affecting me. Now, you as a startup, that $100 is going to affect you because it does nothing to help your business grow. On the actual scaling part, it doesn't help you. The $100 order from Grainger doesn't help you. Okay? Especially if you're a service-based business or if your product does not align with anything that those particular vendor accounts can provide you. What I like to teach my actual clientele and my audience is target building, okay? Target building is something that we have to understand because it works in not only personal credit, but it also works in business, okay? Target building is essentially going after particular products, particular credit cards, particular credit lines based on a goal, right? For instance, if you are going into the Airbnb space, then you don't necessarily need Grainger, right? You need to be targeting Best Buy. You need to be targeting Wayfair Professional. You need to be targeting, who else? Walmart. Walmart has a corporate credit card with no PG. You need to be targeting Amazon Net 55. So those are the trade lines for business that you would need to be targeting in order for it to make sense on why you're spending the money. Because obviously, if you're going to the Airbnb space, you need furnishings, you need televisions, personal electronics, software systems, rings, all those type of things, Ring doorbell, whatever the case may be for the Airbnb, right? And you can get Quill. You can get Quill because they have, dishwashing powder and all those essentials. You can go after Quill, but going after Grainger makes no sense because Grainger is for industrial supplies. There's nothing on Grainger that's going to assist you with your Airbnb. Okay? So target building is essentially what I teach. Okay? Target building is what we teach and what I teach for personal credit scores as well as business credit. All right? Now, I probably said a lot, but we're going to get into this on how to actually build your business credit as a startup. And we've done everything in beforehand, right? You've done the LLC, you've done the business address, you've done the EIN. Those are the things that you essentially have to do right first from firsthand. You've done your business credit profile with Duns and Bradstreet. You've actually listed yourself on listyourself.net. Those are the essential basics of properly structuring your business credit profile, right? Now we're going to get into actually the 5 business credit trade lines that I recommend you use to build business credit and that are actually beneficial as a startup. Okay. Small business owners, if you, like I said, if you already have you're generating revenue, then you can target build, go after what you're trying to obtain, or you can start with the basics, of the Quill, the Uline, the Granger. That's if you want to do that. But I highly suggest anybody doing small businesses. I'm sorry, any small businesses or startups, you have to target build. Okay, don't just go out there grabbing everything, because that's what you're influenced into being told. Okay, and I'm saying that word influence heavily because that's all it is people obtaining products from somebody else and then regurgitating it back to you. You're being influenced and told that this is what you need to do in order to start building business credit. And honestly, you're doing it wrong. They're teaching it wrong. And we're just going to make it right now. Okay? Yes, I'm going to rebel on the quote unquote influencers. They ain't doing it right. And come see me about it. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so here we have the best business credit trade lines to apply for instead of the basics as a startup. Okay, I want you to understand that. I just spoke on what the definition of a startup is and why the trade lines that are being promoted, influenced by social media is not those trade lines that you actually want to go with. Okay, having those Quill, Uline, Granger, CEO Creative, those trade lines are not beneficial if you're a startup, because not only are you spending money just to be able to have something report, it doesn't actually bring back anything into your actual business. Okay. And in all honesty, it can take 6 months for you to even see the benefits of actually having, 5 trade lines reporting to Dun and Bradstreet, 5 trade lines reporting to Experian, just so you can get a no personal guarantee Sam's Club MasterCard. 6 months, when you should actually be putting that money that you placed an order into your business, that is actually going to help you generate profits. Okay, my motto all the time when it comes to startups and small businesses is profits over empty pockets. And it's very important that you understand that as a business owner, the goal is to have profits over empty pockets. And what you may be asking, well, what do you mean by empty pockets? If you're having to go into your own personal accounts to be able to fund your business, you're not making any profits. You're actually losing money, and you're going to continue to lose money because you should be using other people's money to build your business up, right? But right now we're going to be talking about the 5 best business trade lines that you should be applying for if you're a startup. Okay. Number 5, NAV Business Boost reports to Dun and Bradstreet, Experian, Equifax, which is really good because that means that's the first 3 top heavy business credit reports that a lot of vendor accounts look into: Dun and Bradstreet, Experian, Equifax. If you're not sure what Dun and Bradstreet is, or Experian commercial, Equifax commercial, then you definitely want to go ahead and pick up the Solopreneur Business Credit Guide, where it explains it. It's available in paperback as well as ebook format on my website, and I'll go ahead and just plug it right there for you. Right. So that information is what's essentially going to start it up. If you don't have the basics yet, you need to get the basics. And the basics essentially is making sure your business credit profile is set up properly. Now, once that's done, you want to go ahead and open a NAV Business Boost account. The monthly fee for this is $39.99 a month. Okay. And it provides your business credit scores as well as which trade lines are reporting and the limits. And the reason why you want the paid version instead of the free version is because the free version is only going to give you the score in an alphabet range, A, B, C, D, or F. And it's not going to actually tell you the trade lines that are reporting on there. It's just going to say how many trade lines, 3, 2, 4, 5, right? It's not going to give you as much detail as the NAV Business Boost account. Okay. And that's very important to have. And on top of that, it's not only going to give you the information, but it reports to the business credit reports. Okay. The free account doesn't report to the business credit report. So it's not utilizing any type of benefits outside of giving you the score in an alphabet format, an alphabet setting. Okay. And again, if you're not sure what your business scores need to be in order for you to feel comfortable with applying for certain accounts, then you definitely need to pick up the Solopreneur Business Credit Guide, because it is going to show you and tell you the Paydex scores, the experience scores that are good, and what they range from. All right, so our next one is going to be a secure credit card. And you want a secure credit card that actually reports to the business credit side. Not all business credit cards report to the business credit reports. It's just like personal. Not everything has to report to the personal credit reports. Okay. It's something that the actual company creditor chooses to do. Nobody's making them or obligates them to do so. All right. So you can do a secured or unsecured credit card. I say Wells Fargo. One moment. I say a secure credit card or unsecured credit card with Wells Fargo business account, because it does report to it Dun & Bradstreet Experian and the Small Business Financial Exchange, which is really good. If you don't have a good personal credit score above 650, then a security deposit is going to be required. More than likely, you are going to need to actually have the business savings account for this credit card, but you need a credit card, okay? And the reason why you need a credit card is because this is essentially going to tell you, or not only tell you, but actually assist you in making sure that you're purchasing the things that you need for your business, as well as establishing credit history with the credit cards. The same thing like personal scores. You need to have established credit history. And definitely, if you want a business credit card with other companies, then it is important to have already some type of business credit card to be able to get approved. Okay. Outside of the fact that sometimes they're going to use your personal credit scores depending on what type of financial institution you're going with. Okay. But yeah, don't be afraid about the fact that you have to put a $500 minimum deposit. Okay. You're going to use that money for something. Go ahead and put it on a secure credit card with Wells Fargo for business and use it, pay it down. The good thing about business credit cards, outside of the normal, like personal, you can max it out and it's not going to hurt you because it doesn't report to your personal credit scores whatsoever. So if you max out a business credit card, that's good. Just pay down the balances, right? So that would be number 4. Not all business credit cards report to the actual credit bureaus, and you need one that's going to report. Now, you may be saying again, well, I have a business. I want to go with my bank. That's perfectly fine. But if your bank doesn't report, then it's, again, not beneficial. Again, we're trying to do target building when it comes to business credit if you're a startup. And then also, you want to understand that when you're actually going to go out and seek funding from these banks, they're going to want some type of relationship. So you're going to more likely have to open some type of business account with them, such as a business checking account or a business savings account. why not just already go ahead and get the process started with Wells Fargo? All right, number 3 is going to be creative analytics web design, and they report to Equifax. Now, I know you're being again influenced and being told, oh, you don't need a website to start your business. You don't need a website to start your business. That's a lie. Most consumers use what? Google search. Google is a internet browser. Google is an SEO based business. Most businesses are going to use, most consumers are going to use Google search. Most vendor credit accounts are going to Google search you as well. They're going to be looking to see if your business is structured and showing that you actually have a website. A website is very much important. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Okay. Now, web design can be pricey. Web design sometimes with graphic designers in this day and age, you may not know if you're actually going to receive the product. That's why I would say go with creative analytics web design, because not only are they going to provide monthly hosting, they also have different copywriting services. And if you know anything about what's happening, copyright is so important on your website because that's going to be the key of conversion when it's time to actually get those clients rolling in. The copywriting is honestly what converts them. It's not necessarily always the product. It's normally the copywriting of, the emotions that's being pulled in, the product's description, things of that nature. So creative analytics actually provides monthly hosting for your website along with website design, as well as some copywriting services. And the trade lines, they have three different tiers for the website design. It does have a setup fee. It does have a monthly fee, but it reports a trade line for $2,000 from starting at $2,000. So say for instance, they have one of the one of the web design packages. It's a $149 setup fee and it's $99 monthly, right? So you're paying $99 monthly for a $2,000 trade line to report, but you're also getting your website. Your website has hosting. You don't have to worry about trying to figure out who you're going to use for your website, things of that nature. For product-based businesses, they do not use Shopify. It's strictly WordPress, which honestly I think WordPress is one of the best hosting websites that you can have because of the different coding that you can do. But again, that's just me personally. I don't really mess with Shopify. I don't like their codes. But yeah, creative analytics web design is one of those go-to. That's my number 3. And you do need a website. I'm a consumer as well. And if I go in and I'm looking for something, or if I see you on social media and in the link in the bio does not show me a website, I'm not going to purchase from you. That's me personally. Why? Because I don't feel like you have your business set up properly. I don't know how to get any reviews. Yeah, social media, but what if I'm not on social media? What if I said I don't want social media anymore, but I'm looking for a bomb experienced makeup artist. You need to have a website. I want to see photos. I want to see looks of your makeup design, and how can I book with you, and what's your return policy? What's your refund policy? What measures do you have in place to protect? Like all these things I want to be able to see, to be able to say, hey, I'm going to go with you as a business owner, as a business, from one business owner to a business owner, but as well as a consumer. And if you don't have that, then it's just not likely for you to gain a lot of exposure. Okay. I just had a lead today call me and inquiring about services for someone else. And I said, well, how did you hear about our services? And they said, oh, I did a Google search of credit repair services in Houston, Texas, and your website came up. Now, if I didn't have a website and this person is on Google trying to find credit repair services, I wouldn't necessarily came up as on the home page. Maybe my Facebook would have come up. Maybe my Instagram social media part would have came up, but my website wouldn't have came up because I wouldn't have had one if I didn't have one, right? But I know for a fact that because my SEO is built out a certain way, anybody who searched credit repair services in Houston, Texas, Classic Credit Repair Services is going to be on the first page. I am going to be on the first page. My company's name is going to be on the first page when you do Google search. And in all honesty, I would rely on Google before I would rely on social media, on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. Now, no disrespect to the platforms. They definitely create millionaires and multi-million businesses if you do it right. But those are platforms that you cannot control, right? No, I can't control Google, but I know Google going to be here. I know Google is not banning my website for no reason. If somebody decides I'm tired, like they say we shutting this whole social media down, I got Google. I have a website. Okay. It's very important to understand this. And this is the benefits. And this is what I'm talking about when I say target building. Okay. If you don't have a website, how are you going to be able to reach the people who do not use social media? Because it can't always be social media. Bankers are not going to look onto your social media if they want to verify that you are an actual business. They're going to look for you on Google, Safari. They're going to type into an internet browser your business name and see what comes up. And if they don't see a website, can they deny you? I haven't heard of it, but you never know. Vendors do it all the time. If you're trying to get vendor credit and they'll be like, oh, you have to place 4 orders because you don't have a website. Okay. All right. The number 2 is Universal Premier Fleet Card. I'm not a huge fan of fleet cards unless they are considered a business expense card, which they would convert over. Okay. I don't believe in building a whole bunch of obtaining a whole bunch of fleet cards if you only have one vehicle. Okay. Now, if your target is obviously Turo business, rental, share ride business, then sure, trucking, yeah, you're going to need fleet fuel cards. But if it's just you and your car going to the post office and drop off, packages for orders, you only need one fuel card, one fleet fuel card. And I would recommend Universal Premier Fleet Card. It reports to Experian Business. And the reason why you want this particular fuel card, as well as, you can either try this one or there's another one that I usually get clients as well, is because after a certain period of time, if you have the transactions and you use the cards, you pay it down, whatever the case may be, after 6 to 12 months, they will then convert that particular fleet card into an actual business expense credit card. And then that allows you to actually use the benefits of the MasterCard logo, which is accepted everywhere, where you can actually purchase things outside of fuel and maintenance. Okay. Usually when you do fleet cards, they only allow fuel, maintenance, and sometimes like snacks from the grocery store, right? I'm sorry, not the grocery store, but inside the gas store, the gas station, right? So this particular card, not only after a certain period of time, will then allow you to use it as an actual credit card. That's the benefit of it. Okay. Going out there getting Valero gas card makes no sense because Valero, it does not convert over to a business expense card. Do they have a Valero MasterCard? Yeah. But guess what? You're not going to be able to obtain it if you don't have a good personal credit score. Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah. Those cards require personal credit scores to be checked. Okay. Now this one is one of the ones that's in my fleet, my repertoire of business fleet fuel cards that I recommend for my clients, or just in general. But this is the number 2. All right. Now we're going to get into the number 1, which I think is obviously number 1 because it's the most important. And I don't think anybody should skip this step. I understand what social media is telling us. I understand that social media is telling us they create millionaires, or people are influencing you saying, oh, I just took $1,300 and I went about and built an empire. Trust me, there was some back end work that had to happen, whether it was somebody giving them advice or they taking the advice that they had previously and then channeling that into their actual business. It wasn't just simply $1,200 and a dream. It was $1,200, a dream. Oh, plus I know how to network with, I know how to get contracts with government agencies because I used to do that for the company that I used to work with, right? They already had that experience. I know how to already write grants, so I can get grant writing. I know I can get approved for grants for my actual business, right? They use something that they already had in their bag to be able to move forward with their dream along with the $1,200. It's not just $1,200 and I'm going to go on social media and make $1 million. No, I'm so tired of hearing that rhetoric. It's not true. All right. So the number one business credit trade line that you should have as a startup that not only benefits your business in the way that's going to take it there, it's also going to help build business credit. And that is going to be a business plan with Wise Business Plan Plus. They report to Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax. And what I mean by a business plan, you can either have it written for you or you can write it out yourself, but they do have a Net 30 account for a business plan. And this is so crucial. A business plan is needed because the business plan is going to tell you what type of money you need for marketing, the marketing budget, who your competitors actually are and what they're doing, what their strengths and what their weaknesses are, how to make sure that if you see something from the competitor that's lacking, that's what you can possibly implement into yours to differentiate you in the industry. It's going to give you it's going to outline your strengths and your business strengths and your weaknesses, opportunities. It's also going to show you how much funding you actually need, how much money is going to actually be needed to go into this business. And that's where people lose. That's where the disconnect happens. That's where people are struggling. Oh, now let me build business credit so I can get a no personal guarantee credit card because I need this funding. Well, if you already know how much funding you need because it's outlined, then you know exactly where to get it from. And trust me, if you have a business plan, a solid business plan, yes, you can get investors. If you have a solid business plan, yes, banks still loan money off of business plans. Banks are old school. They're not changing too much. Okay? And because they don't change too much, they like the way the stuff works because it works for them. Why not use what's already in place? The blueprint is already there. So yes, you do need a business plan. And yes, there is a business plan that you can obtain, and it not only helps benefit you in structuring your business, but it'll actually help build your business credit at the same time. Okay? So those were the top 5 business credit trade lines that you need as a startup. I hope that information was helpful, and I want to make sure that I can give you more information like that. So go ahead and hit the like button and make sure you subscribe. And again, I'm Tempest Luckett. I'm the founder and CEO of Classy Credit Repair Services. And remember, as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, as a startup, the goal is to make sure that you have profits over empty pockets. Don't go around using your own money to fund your business, okay? You need to make sure that your personal credit scores are up to par so that way you can get the funding that your business deserves so that way you can scale your business, all right? You guys have a good day. Thank you for joining.